and look at some of the law enforcement components that are increasingly problematic. Thank you.
Great, thank you so very much, Jasmine. Any questions for Cremigation Working Group? We're going to move right along to sentencing reform in between Jesselyn McCurdy or
And
Kara Gotsch.
Kara and Michael.
Michael
We're going to give.
Collins.
So, the big news that came down a few weeks ago, not unexpected, but was Sessions releasing his new guidance around sentencing and charging the way they were going to charge crimes under this new administration. The Justice Roundtable had sent a letter ahead of time asking the Department of Justice, just mainly to put ourselves on the record around touting the successes of the Smart on Crime guidance that was enacted by Attorney General Holder and continued by Attorney General Lynch. But we had been hearing for months actually that the charging guidance was going to be changed, and it was officially dated May 10th, but released publicly May 12th. And I think, kind of somewhat surprisingly, and Kara can talk some more about this, really got some really good reactions from members of Congress in papers across the country, just really pushing back on Sessions taking this new old approach, because basically what he's doing is taking us back to when there was the Ashcroft memo, when people were going to be charged with the most serious crime that could be proven by prosecutors. So that has come out. I think we got some good responses around that. And Kara, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Well, we also held a rally, as most people know, and really do appreciate all the.
Tell a little bit more about the rally, because we have a whole live stream audience who may not.
So we
know
held a
about that.
rally. The following Tuesday really became public Friday morning, and we got on the phone pretty quickly, and had a rally in front of the Department of Justice, and a lot of you were there. Really want to thank everybody for coming together. We had about 125 people there, and a series of speakers, including Nkechi and Jesselyn and Mark Maurer and Jasmine Tyler and Sakira Cook and lots of people. It was really energizing and a good reminder of this community strength and commitment, and we've been down before, and we can rise again. So I would echo what Justin said, that there's been really great as in a negative response, pretty in the media. And last week, actually, Senator Lee led a letter to Sessions that was signed by Cory Booker, Rand Paul, and Dick Durbin, to Sessions, asking for justification for revocation of the Smart on Crime initiative, and was critical of the Department of Justice. And they really, to their credit, led on this. Lee's office led on this, and we're really upset about the Department of Justice's actions.
And I want to first of all, I want to welcome Jasmine Tyler back into the fold, but specifically want to thank her for really putting the energy into the protest, because, this was literally a pop-up protest. Yeah, we had to calm her down on that. We had to veto that. Right, we had to veto that. And then, right, you would have got us out of jail. And then I want to ask, actually, Michael to talk about a meeting that we had with the Department of Justice a week before the guidance came out.
Yeah, so a group of us met with Steve Cook, who, for folks who don't know, is kind of like Jeff Sessions #2. He was like former NALSA, big opponent of sentencing reform, and now is in the Department of Justice. And he's heading up this task force on violent crime. And so we really had a meeting with him. Not really.
Excuse me, that includes marijuana.
That includes marijuana, the violent crime of marijuana. So we met with them, really, a group of us met with him, really not to kind of put across our point of view, because he's so far removed from where we stand, and he knows where we stand, we know where he stands, but really just to talk about, make sure that they are talking to the right people as they do this task force. So yeah, I mean, the sense we got from these task forces is somewhat of an echo chamber. You know, they're talking to law enforcement, prosecutors, and so we followed up by sending a list of, you know, individuals and folks that they should reach out to. And I think they have a summit on violent crime next week that none of us could get invited to.
We all
Yeah.
got rejected.
We all got rejected,
We
yeah.
did see. Let me mention, before I turn it back over to Jesselyn, on justiceroundtable.org, there's a whole page, it's a take action page dealing with the whole sessions scenario and the guidance memo to prosecutors that was basically resurrection that Jesselyn talked about. So if you want to see the various statements from the various organizations, I mean, tons of organizations around this table issue statements, you know, in protest of that memo. If you want to see news articles related to it or anything along those lines, it's on that page on justiceroundtable.org under Take Action.
I'm done.
Okay, great. Any questions for sentencing reform working group? Yes. Turn it to a turn red.
I guess this is for Jesselyn or Kara. Do you see any significance to the fact that we don't have any U.S. attorneys in office? Like, does that help or hurt in terms of the impact of the guidance?
I'm going to let Michael talk about that because we have been doing some work around the U.S. attorneys.
Yeah, actually, overnight or late yesterday, they announced the first raft of nominees. I think some of us we've been doing some meetings around U.S. attorney nominations. It's quite, I don't know how much detail I should go into because it's so boring, but essentially, for U.S. attorney, for a lot of nominations, especially U.S. attorney nominations, there's what's called a blue slip process where the senators from the state of which the U.S. attorney is being nominated have to approve that nominee. And so Grassley will reach out to, you know, senators from, you know, Massachusetts, for example, and say, do you like this guy? And so we've been meeting with Senate offices just to talk to them about, are they taking this process seriously? Here are, you know, some potential questions that you might want to ask when you meet these U.S. attorneys. But my sense is like they're very far behind in terms of like nominating individuals, and I think that means that these sort of interim / deputy U.S. attorneys are in power just now, and that's not necessarily a bad thing from our point of view.
Okay.
Howard with LEAP. Everybody kind of snickered when they talk about violent crime and marijuana. As a policy, marijuana prohibition absolutely creates a fair amount of violence and death in this country. People are shot and killed at least every month in this country because of the marijuana prohibition. Just want to add that.
Okay. Thank you. We want to move